For decades, we've been told that women are biologically programmed to seek out monogamy. Having only one uterus to fill and one fetus at a time, women gain no evolutionary advantage from being promiscuous. They're far less likely to cheat. Turns out, that's bullshit. Studies show that when women are hooked up to a lie detector and assured that their answers will remain confidential, a different story emerges. The truth is that the number of sexual partners had by women virtually equals that of men. Statistics also show that almost as many women cheat on men as vice versa. A University of Indiana study found that the number of women who admitted to cheating has almost doubled since the 90s. The cheating gender gap has virtually closed. A study out of the UK found that once women decide to have an affair, they're more promiscuous than men, having an average of 2.3 illicit lovers compared to 1.8 for guys. Another study asked women in relationships if they would have an affair if an outsider piqued their interest. 25% said yes, compared to just 9% for men. Women in the West are actually just as slutty as men, if not more so.
How dare you call women sluts? We all know that men are the biggest whores on the planet, you disgusting fuckboy misogynist!
Listen, men are sluts too, but the figures show that women sleep around just as much as men. And when it comes to being unfaithful, women are catching up to men. The new face of infidelity is female. So why is that? One reason more women are cheating on men is because they're watching TV shows, sitcoms and movies where the plot makes it look like cheating is inevitable in relationships.
Just tell me the truth.
Yes, we did it here.
Psychologists call this infidelity overload. And whether deliberately or not, women are being brainwashed into promiscuity by the dominant culture. This is a real, measurable phenomenon. The other reason women cheat on men is based in evolutionary science. Recent studies show that women were biologically programmed to seek sex with different men in short succession, so that sperm could compete for the right of paternity. So why are women tempted to become sluts? Well, A, they're biologically programmed to be sluts, and B, the dominant culture is encouraging them to be sluts. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey has sold 125 million copies worldwide? Because it taps into the dirty little secret that huge numbers of women have rape fantasies.
I just have a rape fetish, but I have not been raped.
The one thing that women crave most is to be sexually desired. Female desire is activated not by meek beta men who pussyfoot around women, but by high testosterone men who forcefully desire women. Women need to be strongly desired by men to reach orgasm.
Yes! Yes!
And what's the ultimate expression of desire? It's a man who will risk being incarcerated and shunned by society in order to have sex with a woman. That's why women have rape fantasies. It's not about being calmed. It's about seeing the man driven completely out of control by his desire. For women, that's the ultimate turn on. The notion that women are more frigid than men is also totally incorrect. Unlike for heterosexual men, studies show that female physiological arousal occurs with virtually any kind of stimulus. Even watching bonobo monkeys have sex stimulates women. Women's appetite for casual sex also equals that of men, so long as they believe they won't be harmed. And during their most fertile days, women are far more attracted to high testosterone men, not beta men who cherish monogamy.
Some men have to be dominant.
For women, being a slut is pretty much the default biological setting, and it's the same for men. But whereas just 20 years ago, men were significantly more likely to sleep around, the impact of promiscuity being glorified by the dominant culture has evened the score. Women are bigger sluts than ever before. But instead of decrying that, progressives and feminists are celebrating it.
I'm proud to be a slut.
And yet, despite all this glorification of promiscuity, The vast majority of both men and women say that cheating is a deal breaker that ends a relationship. And that's why we need to reject this social engineering that the dominant culture is ramming down our throats. It's clear that rampant hedonism and promiscuity only makes people more unhappy. All the studies show that. But we're being tempted into following lifestyles that leave us depressed, unfulfilled, and lonely.
We lead double lives. We deal in sex and beautiful women.
And it doesn't take much convincing. Listen, the truth is that both men and women were biologically programmed to be sluts and to procreate with as many people as possible to continue the human race. From a biological standpoint, humans were never meant to be monogamous. But that was when we lived in huge tribes. And things like property rights, paternity, fidelity, and romantic love didn't matter. Survival was the only thing that mattered. You'd hope that by now we'd have evolved to the point where we can rise above the inclination to be sluts and build strong, happy, everlasting relationships.
I wanna be loved by you alone.
But it's almost as if this culture of glorifying promiscuity is a deliberate attempt to keep humans spiritually and emotionally downtrodden. The sexual revolution wasn't a revolution at all. It was a regressive step backwards to an archaic tribal mentality. And if we're to truly advance as a species, we need an authentic sexual renaissance. Not one based on being a slut, but one based on honesty, trust, and treating others how you wish to be treated. Check out the other videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm Paul Joseph Watson for Infowars.com.